Okay, so we're back and we're going to talk about organizing things because I know that when I am in the middle of a project, I prefer to have things already laid out so I can stay in the flow. So we've got stacks of 100 little cloth squares and we want to put them together and we're going to use them in our project in a particular order. So we've got them laid out. We're like, okay, we want to use this one first, and then this one's number 2, and then we're going to use this one third, and we're going to use this one fourth. So to make things easy for myself, I also have 4 zip seal baggies, name brand excluded. So we start at the end. We're starting with number 4, and that's going to go in our little zip seal baggie here. And when we close it up, we're just going to squeeze the air out here so it makes it nice and neat. Bloop. Okay, so there's number 4. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, some of you are already ahead of me and you're like, oh, I know where this is going, but do you? Wait, watch. Zoom, zip, zowie, because everything's better with sound effects. Number 4 is going to go into the next zip seal bag. We're going to take number 3 and add it in there. Notice number 3 is loose. And again, we just seal it and while removing excess air. And then we continue the process. Number 2 and the other bag are all going together. And guess what? Again, it gets sealed and the air gets squeezed out. Now, as we're doing this, there is a method to this madness because you'll notice that at any point when you open a bag new, there's only... What?
I can't see it.
Oh. Notice when you open a bag new, there's only one of our stacks is loose inside any given bag. So that's the one you're working on next. Helps keep things straight. You take a moment, you make sure you got a clear mind, you got everything in the right order, and then it's kind of setting everything on a bit of automatic so that you can just go through your project more easily. So finally, the first one we're going to start it with is the last one in the bags, so that it's the first out. So now I can take this with me, and when I'm ready to work on my project, I can just take it out, I can start. When all of the loose ones are gone, these are pre-counted, pre-stacked. When they're done, well, then I'm on to the next baggie. And then I use the next color. I open it up. What's the next color I use in my project? The next loose one. And it continues on through. So that's a really wonderful and easy way to keep things straight with your project. And it travels really well, keeping things compact, keeps them neat, stacked, keeps you out of trouble. Now let's say you're working with other squares and you want them to be in a particular order. Well, again, if you only have a few squares, rather than using the bags, it might be better to just stack them together in the correct order and then pin them. And that way when you go to tie these, you just start on one end and work your way to the other side, and everything will be in its right place and the right order for you. Now, we also have, I prefer the zip seal bags because they're awesome. I've got a stack of my larger squares in here, and I can just put my smaller set in there if I'm worried about the pin. I could also potentially just put them in there loose, like this. Depends on how much you trust your organization and whether things will shift or not. Anyway, there's a couple of ideas to help keep you organized and get you started on your project with your cloth squares. Thanks.